NBC Right Now. Your local news at 5.
A new roadway is relieving some Tri-Cities traffic. All of the details coming up.
Friends and family are remembering a soldier from our area killed in the battle earlier this week. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Boggs.
Shane Ettinger, family and friends are mourning the loss of an Army soldier born and raised in our area who was killed in action earlier this week.
Aaron Hill sat down with a close family friend to find out more about this American hero. Aaron.
Meredith, Captain Aaron Blanchard gave the ultimate sacrifice, doing something he had wanted to do his entire life, be in the military. He graduated from Selah High School back in 1999 and has a lot of roots here in the Yakima Valley. So today, family and friends are left remembering a man who they say died doing what he loved.
Aaron loved the Army, and he was doing what he loved.
Fighting back tears, Delynn Elliott looks through old yearbooks and pictures of her former student, Captain Aaron Blanchard. It's been a lot of years since she had Aaron in her 5th grade class, but she remembers a boy who always knew what he wanted to do in life.
He would wear fatigues and he'd always talk about the Army, and he'd play Army as a little boy, and it was his passion. He absolutely wanted to be in the military.
The oldest of 3 brothers, Captain Blanchard wasn't a stranger to military service. He spent 5 years in the Marine Corps, serving twice in Iraq. In 2005, he left the Marines but wanted to do more for his country. So he joined the ROTC program at Central Washington University, graduating as an officer and finally having the chance to follow his dream and fly.
He gave 110% if it was something that he wanted to do, and flying was something he always wanted to do, and so he was able to pick the Apache helicopter.
Elliott says Aaron had only been in Afghanistan for about a week when a missile was launched into the forward operating base he was stationed in. He, along with an unreleased number of other soldiers, were killed.
It's definitely going to be a loss for this community. Great young man.
Captain Blanchard leaves behind his wife, Becky, their 2-year-old daughter, and their 4-year-old son. He was 32 years old. I spoke with Captain Blanchard's mother this afternoon, and she says her son's body is already back in the United States and will soon be flown back to Selah for a funeral. She says one of Aaron's brothers, who is also in the military, is escorting him, so he'll have family by his side every step of the way. In Yakima, Aaron Hill, NBC Right Now.
Thanks, Aaron. Attorneys delivered opening statements this morning in the trial of a nanny accused of manslaughter. Kelly Jacobson is accused of dropping 1-year-old Ryder Morrison on his head while she was watching the boy one day before his birthday. Prosecutor Andy Miller told the jury today that Jacobson's description of Ryder's injuries that she gave to police did not match what the coroner determined during Ryder's autopsy. Meanwhile, defense attorney Scott Johnson says that evidence, or lack of evidence, will determine the outcome of this trial. The prosecution called their first witness today this afternoon. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Crime Stoppers is looking for a Pasco man who failed to appear in court to face charges for cocaine possession. 32-year-old Giovanni Shea Kinsley's last known address was on North 24th Avenue in Pasco. Kinsey is 5'11" and 174 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information can call Crime Stoppers at 586-TIPS or 1-800-222-TIPS.
2 of the 4 units in the West Complex at the Washington State Penitentiary in Walla Walla are now allowed to participate in limited activities after Saturday's lockdown. The other 2 units have returned to normal operations. Corrections officers ordered the lockdown after a fight in an outside recreation yard. Officers say that several offenders had non-serious injuries. No guards were injured in that incident. New at 6 tonight, gang crime can tarnish the city's reputation, and law enforcement agencies in the Walla Walla Valley are working together to make sure it doesn't happen to them. Walla Walla's police chief has already drafted a gang enforcement strategic initiative. We'll take a closer look at that tonight at 6.
An Natchez Heights family needs a place to stay tonight after a fire tore through their house. It happened around 9 last night on the 100 block of Young Grade Road. The fire gutted the inside of the home, and crews say the damage is estimated around $500,000. Luckily, the 2 people who were inside when the fire started made it out okay. Their son says he's just happy his parents are safe.
It's just stuff, and that's, Jill and Roland have been incredible about that sort of thing. It doesn't feel like it's really gone into feelings mode. I think that we're just kind of in it is what it is mode.
Their 3 cats made it out of the home, but one is still missing. They say they have insurance and will be able to move on.
The Sunnyside City Council says they will not reinstate former interim city manager Frank Sweet, who was fired back in February. The city's mayor resigned over that decision. The council met last night and heard arguments from Sweet about his dismissal. Sweet told the council he was fired solely because of a pair of letters he sent to interim police chief Phil Schenck, and not for his performance. Sunnyside Mayor Jim Restucci says that Sweet's work impressed him, but the city just could not hire him back.
Done what is necessary to continue keeping this government moving forward and doing the best job that we can for our community.
With a consulting firm to find a new city manager, they expect to hire someone for the job within 2 months.
And a traffic alert tonight. Phase 2 of the Steptoe Street extension is now officially open to drivers. Jane Sander joins us now live in Kennewick with the latest on that. Jane.
Shane and Meredith, this is the Steptoe Street extension here, and it's a partnership between the city of Richland and Kennewick. This is the second phase of 3 that connects Center Parkway to 4th. It includes an underpass beneath the railroad tracks and a new traffic light here at Clearwater intersection. The ribbon cutting earlier this morning included appearances by representatives from Kennewick, Richland, the Department of Transportation, Burlington Northern Santa Fe, and several contractors. Kennewick Mayor Steve Young spoke about how the new road is more than just convenient for drivers.
It means growth in business, growth in development. This area out here has been waiting a long time to be developed, and this thoroughfare will allow that development to be expedited now.
Phase 3 of the project extends the project to 10th Avenue at Hildebrand. It creates an entire loop all the way to Highway 395. The construction on this roadway project is expected to be finished by the end of 2014. Live in Kennewick, Jane Sander, NBC Right Now.
Yeah, you can see it was a beautiful day out there today, and it felt a little bit warmer today than yesterday.
Yeah, getting a little warmer indeed. Let's check in with Tim Adams for our first look at our forecast. Hi, Tim.
Well, hello.
Thanks, Tim. Crews are installing the largest solar hot water system in Washington State at Broche Orchards near Prescott. The 72-panel system will serve a new housing development going up for the farm's workers. Tracy Dial joins us now with the details. Tracy.
Meredith, the Broche Orchards community is called Vista Hermosa, but these days it's going more Vista Verde. This green technology will heat the water for the 40-some new housing units for the farm's workers. Now, this project is part of the company's bottom line, but it's not just your typical bottom line. Broche Orchards upholds a quadruple bottom line. They balance purpose, profit, people, and the planet.
We're a faith-based organization. We try to do these things because it's the right thing to do, not because it's politically expedient. And so obviously, yeah, we wouldn't be installing these solar panels here unless they were actually serving a real function.
This panel system doesn't actually create electricity. The sun simply warms the water and stores it in the tanks for later use. The project is a little bit spendy, but was made possible through grants and other funding sources, though it will likely pay for itself in a few years. Solar water heaters are said to save up to 30% on electricity costs. Live in the studio, Tracy Dial, NBC Right Now.
Thanks, Tracy. Dozens of people gathered in Wallula today to celebrate the grand opening of the new Rail-X wine storage and shipping facility. Port commissioners, Chamber of Commerce representatives, and other local politicians all came out to show their support for this facility that's boosting business for Washington's wine industry. The 500,000 square foot facility now houses more than 2 million cases of wine.
We needed to let people come in and take a look and say, this is what we can do. We can create the jobs. We can create an advantage for Washington wine industry, the Oregon wine industry, to get to all parts of the country.
The refrigerated warehouse can hold up to 5 million cases of wine, and Rail-X plans to meet that capacity in the coming months. The facility ships more than 30,000 cases of wine every day.
The U.S. Forest Service is starting their preparations for the upcoming fire season. Adam Beck takes a closer look at what rangers and firefighters are doing now to prevent problems this summer.
Well, still ahead tonight, a Hollywood actor spent the day in the Tri-Cities talking with kids about bullying.
And some local students are putting their math and science skills to the test. Those stories coming up.